Anyways, I'm ready. I'm ready to record, guys. I've been recording. I just did the I did the secret opening that I always do.
Well, I'm recording again. Jack is now back.
I'm recording.
Everyone ready? Let's.
Okay, is everyone recording?
Let's clap those cheeks, gentlemen.
All right. On go. 3, 2, 1, go. Ooh, I think that might be it.
Ooh,
we got it. I think we got it in the first try. That's a first. That's incredible.
Mint.
I don't know. I guess with that being said, welcome to the podcast. You're going to hear all the nonsense before it.
There we go.
Clap those cheeks, gentlemen.
This week, as per usual, I'm joined by the John Favreau McWigan.
Oh, my name is... that's an old meme. I'm sorry.
I am also joined by Super Feet Boy, a.k.a. Rocklicker.
Hey, I don't actually like feet that much, but yeah.
Allegedly.
And
Allegedly. Uh-oh.
And once again, a ghost from the first episode of the podcast. We were joined by Snakelore, a.k.a. Mac.
Hey, how's it going?
Nice to meet you, Mac.
I still need to listen to that last podcast in full. I haven't had time, but I've heard good things about it. So
the reviews were in.
We got some. The reviews were in. They like the propane.
Oh man, guys, no, please. We don't have enough porta potties for all of this.
But that was a Jacob story, and the first thing we have to lead off with today, I think, is a Jacob story.
Oh god, yeah.
Here we go.
So yesterday, very recent story. I got called into work, and I was working on cash on till. And as everyone knows, because of COVID, people are taking precautions. They're wearing gloves, wearing masks, keeping the 6 feet apart and whatnot. And this lady comes through, and she's buying 8 tall beer cans of all the same beer. And I ask her, I'm like, hey, as she's holding one can towards me with the barcode, I'm like, do you want me to bag those for you? Oh, no, it's fine, it's okay. So I scan it, I get everything rung up perfectly. I ask her the typical questions I have to, air miles, whatnot. As I read off the amount, I ask her how she wants to pay. And this is where you think it might be funny, because of how dressed up this lady is. She's wearing blue gloves, a mask, she's keeping her distance, she's wearing a hood, she's just seems like she's going above and beyond. She says, I'll pay cash, which is, as people have thought, is one of the dirtiest methods of paying during this time.
I swear we're getting more cash lately as well, and I don't know why. It's like everyone's suddenly just given up on it all, and they're like, oh, get the cash back out. We got all this cash we need to give to people.
No one else is accepting cash. And of course, she hands me 3 20s. And it wasn't until I had taken the 20s and got it about 1.5 feet away from my face when the smell hit me of the cleaner that she had used on these bills. She had washed all 3 of the 20s, and I looked at her gloves after I got these 20s to make sure it wasn't just the 20s, though her gloves were also doused in it. Vinegar. She washed these bills in vinegar.
It's amazing. It's and he comes over and
I finished putting it into my till. I closed my till. I asked if she wants a receipt. Oh no, that's fine. As soon as she left, I did 3 big squirts of hand sanitizer and just washed my hands. I almost threw up. It was.
He comes over. He's like, "You want to smell my fingers?" I'm like, "No, not really."
and Jack's sitting there. He's like, he just had a rough customer too, and he was like, "Oh, I'm upset. I want to tell you something." I'm like, "Can I tell you mine first? I'm pretty sure it'll cheer you up." I don't think so. This lady just gave me vinegar covered bills.
You should have faked a reaction.
Yeah.
I felt so bad. I
licked the bill.
Right after that, I had to go cash out.
You got any salt to go with these?
I unload my till in this tiny little cash office, and the entire thing smells of salt and vinegar chips. Just vinegar everywhere. I open the door, and Jack's like, "Oh, I'm coming." I'm like, "No, I'm getting air. I need to breathe."
Yeah.
This is so brutal.
Usually they just wait inside the cash office, and the door's closed, and he's poking his head out through the crack, and I'm like, "I'm coming. I'm just taking a second." He's like, no, I just can't breathe in there. It's ridiculous.
I felt so bad putting them into those 20s into the safe because they still just were covered.
It's great. I messaged the person who was opening the next day, and I was like, just so you know, if the safe smells like vinegar tomorrow morning, it's Jacob's fault. It's fine. Just don't worry about it.
You know, if it sounds like, if it smells like you opened up a bag of Lay's,
Yeah.
it's Jacob. Just blame Jacob.
You know, I was slightly worried. I'm glad it was vinegar though, and not like ammonia, because we sprayed bleach water, and I'm pretty sure that would have just been a recipe for disaster.
Yeah, exactly. I almost did that once when I worked at another store. I was trying to clean out a drain, and I was like, "God, this thing's fucking filthy. It's clogged up." And I poured some bleach down, and then there was something. There was CLR, and then someone was like, "Why don't you pour this down?" And I was like, "Yeah, that's a good." Hang on, wait a minute. No. I was like, I nearly fucking gassed everyone in the building. That's not a good idea.
Jack nearly violated the Geneva Convention.
So yeah, that was a good one. No,
It was all accidental though. All accidental.
Of course.
You know, I've seen grocery stores. Where they stack ammonia right above the bleach.
Oh, that's funny.
And I'm scared. I'm so scared that if that shelf breaks, like that's it.
Knock it down and run.
It's game right there. But like one faulty screw in that shelf at the Home Depot, and all of a sudden, it's all over the news.
This is definitely not a home store anymore.
Doesn't even have a roof.
It's a crime
anymore.
scene.
It's been blown up.
No. That's just if you store the Mentos next to the Coke.
Oh.
Yeah.
Has anyone ever like tried doing the Mentos and Coke experiment, but inside of them, like they've like drank a bunch of Coke, they drank a bunch of Coke, and then they swallow Mentos? Like you like eat Mentos and drink a bunch of Coke, or you do the opposite where you drink a bunch of Coke and then try and take as many Mentos as you can.
Have you?
No, but I've witnessed it, and it's pretty funny.
God.
I think you need to explain this now.
Yeah.
I witnessed a guy do this, and I'm like not like something recent, like back when I was like a lot younger. We thought like we did the Coke experiment in class, like grade 6 or whatever, and one of the kids in the class like a week later thought it would be a cool idea to do it inside of himself, like drink the Coke, eat the Mentos, and just
I don't like the term
quick
do it
question.
inside of himself. I don't like that term.
Quick question.
yeah, Mac.
Is he still around?
Yes, he is. All
right, good to hear.
From the last I've seen, yes, he is, and that
He's
was
on an
like,
iron
through
lung,
Facebook.
though.
He's got an iron. Oh man, no. What he had done was he ate the Mentos, so the Mentos were still like in his throat, not like mouth, but like in his like not
Like,
down to his stomach yet. It hadn't been like 7 minutes to digest or whatever. And then he drank the Coke as fast as he could.
Is that how long it takes for things to reach your stomach? I don't.
It takes about 7 minutes, yeah, to realize you're full because you've got stuff like processing into your stomach, yeah.
But I don't know that means that it takes 7 minutes.
I thought it takes like 14 seconds to like fall down or something, or like reach that point,
and then
it
actually.
takes a bit.
Oh, maybe I'm just not an anatomy person.
But I mean,
He's
it'll still
lost
explode
it.
down there.
Yeah. In all fairness, you lick rocks. You don't lick
I
soft.
really don't.
It might take 7 minutes for the rocks to digest, but for everything else.
So I witnessed this kid. Not like I don't want to say it's projectile vomit because it was not. It was not. It was just the Coke shooting out of his mouth like it was like a laser beam. Like he was like, I'm a dragon. I'm about to spew fire. Coke. Just in a straight line. Just Coke.
You think I'd be able to do this for the Canada Day stream tomorrow? What do you guys think?
Oh, hey guys, how's it going?
please,
Just open
please.
take the Mentos, put them to the back of your throat, swallow them, and then take the Coke, and then just open your mouth and eat.
Exactly. There we go.
Everyone's just curious as to why you started out on the in your yard, and then they just see you down a whole pack of Mentos, take a 2-liter thing,
And
of
then just
Coke,
aim straight in
chug
the
it.
air and become this fountain.
Would it be illegal to like do that on the flag?
Oh, that's great. Oh my god.
Oh, Canada. Actually, speaking of Canada, are you done your story, Jacob?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, so I have a story. This is from 5th grade, so it would have been during the 2008 elections. So in 5th grade, you start learning about civics, and you start learning about the different political parties and the way the political system works. So, it was great because we're right at the beginning of elections, so what better time to learn about politics than then? Our teacher took us and divided us up into different political parties, and she said, okay, you guys have a week to campaign amongst the class, and then at the end of the week, we're all going to vote on who the winning party will be. So there was the Greens, there was the NDP, there was the Conservative Party, and there were the Liberals. I think if I remember correctly, I was on the NDP.
I remember doing this, something similar to this in elementary school in Ontario. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like we did this too. This is great. I love
I
it.
feel like my teacher was just really passive aggressive about how like X party was gonna give them more money, so you should tell your parents. It's like listen, kids.
Was that X
my
party
God.
NDP?
Yeah.
I have no idea, but she's probably like, listen, I have money down on a Corvette. If this party wins, it's all over. I'm losing the house.
Dude, yeah. No, they took us, actually, they took my class on a field trip down to Regina, and they were like, we're going to go in the Parliament building, the Regina Parliament building, we're going to sit through an actual, like, sitting up top and everything, and blah, 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 blah. But remember, guys, the guy who has invited us here is part of the Sask party. So anytime the Sask party says something, we all need to clap. We all need to be really happy. But
Jeb Bush?
don't cheer for the other people, though. And I'm like, I didn't, like, process it back then, because, yeah, I was in, like, grade 5. But, like, I'm thinking about it later, and I'm like, that's fucked
Did he
up.
take pictures with the class after and everything?
They sat us down in a little room afterwards, and he came in, and he was making politician jokes, like, I don't know what politician jokes are, but they were just, like, the most family-friendly thing that you can say in front of a kid. And I was so goddamn bored the entire time, and I hated it. I was like, why do we have to cheer for these guys? So me and, like, 3 other people would just, like, cheer every time the NDPs were saying something, and then my teacher kept shooting us a look and being like, what the fuck, stop doing that.
See, well, where I was in Ontario, it was like all the teachers were heavily NDP, and all of us in grade 5 were like, nah, we don't care about politics. Let's all vote Green Party. So we all did, and they got mad at us. We were like, oh man, the Green Party? They're named after a color? Yeah, we'll do it. I like the color green.
That's the only reason you
That's
need.
half the voters.
They didn't even care about anything else. It was just like dumb reasons. And the French teacher, I remember the French teacher got so mad with us. There was an entire like timeout hour that we all had to sit. Yeah.
You do not cheer for the Greens, you cheer for the Bloc.
No, instead of doing a French class, it was us sitting there going, I'm disappointing in all of you. How could you all how could favoritism and a popularity contest swerve your political choices? And I was
What the
like,
fuck
Dirty
do they
communists.
like, what are you talking about? That's politics.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's literally what politics is.
Well, they weren't impressed, but it was fun.
How dare you turn this popularity contest into a popularity contest? Fucking...
See, in my class, we didn't have any politicians come in, but, like, since it was a week, you know, at the beginning of the week, everyone was like, well, we're not going to sling any mud. But by the end of the week, mud was slung.
Oh, for sure.
Like, it gets to the point, like, you know, Timmy is up here for his own good. He's only looking out for himself. He won't look out for the rest of you. He'll take one pencil from all of you and not give any of them back.
Oh, yes, we had that too. Like an actual class election kind of thing?
Yeah, it was like a whole-on election, but by the end of the week, it's like tensions had gotten so high that I think 2 kids actually fought each other on the playground on Thursday, and weren't allowed to participate in the election the next day.
That's hilarious. Dude, we had a guy, one guy stood up and he was making like reasonable, you know, oh, I want to do this. I want the lunchroom to be like, we'll get to sit at the table instead of on the floor at lunch. And then one guy stands up and he's like, I'm going to bring everyone free donuts next week. And everyone was like, fuck yeah. And our teacher immediately stood up and went, that's not something you can promise. And he just turned around and he went, free donuts, everyone. Think about it. He sat down, and he won the fucking election because we wanted donuts.
Something similar like that happened in my class. So on election day, we all came in, you know, me and my fellow NDP friends had come in and we're like, okay, you know, we're going to, you know, about equality and, you know, everyone has equal opportunity. But the people running for the Conservative Party came in with a big, huge box of just candy.
Oh, yeah.
And right before the debate, they walked around and they handed everyone candy and they said, listen, if you vote us in, we'll give you 2 more pieces of candy. And it was a write-off from there. They won by a landslide.
yeah.
The bait and switch.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah, but all a party had to do would be like you'd be sitting there and be like, hey, you know how they handed all that candy though, like you know, like free donuts and stuff. Well, I hear that their leader's a nose picker, and he's handing that out to you. Like, that's...
It's a serious
I'm not a booger eater. I'm not
He's
a
the
booger
one
eater,
clogging
but,
the washer.
But them, though...
Josh, he's just not ready.
Like, little things like that. It's like, you know, Cameron, I saw him at recess the other day. Finger deep in the gold mine. Like, I don't know if we can trust him. Like, he's lying to you about that. What else is he lying
He's
about?
2 months younger than me. He doesn't have the years.
Yeah.
Doesn't have the
that was a thing in
experience.
elementary school.
This is like a 5-6 split class. This is a 5-6 split class. So I was like, there were some kids a year older than me.
Yo,
and
split
I think one of the
classes.
campaigning platforms for the Liberals was, they're a year younger than us. What do they know?
That's great.
It's
And then
ironic.
they just step up and they're like,
like,
nerd
shit.
ropes. Here you go.
Dude,
Oh, that's so
split
amazing.
classes were hell.
Oh, the
It was
worst.
had
so
one.
weird.
Never had
And so I had a grade 3-4 split, and I was one of the 4s in the 3 class. And there was 4 of us. There's 4 of us, and then there was a class of like 25 or 30 that all got to be together. I'm like, why am I the chosen one here? This is not what I want to be chosen for. And so you're missing out half the learning because you have to hear stuff you heard from last year, and then all the kids are struggling with it, and you're like, God. And then you get your shit, and it's terrible, and it's chaos.
See, I had an opposite side of that happen. I was in like a 3-4 split where 4 of us went up, like from grade 3 went into the grade 4 class. And then after like 2 or 3 months of this, they were like, yeah, you can decide if you want to go back to grade 3 or if you just want to stay in grade 4 and move on with your life.
Wait, that's a big choice.
What a weird...
Wait,
what a
what?
weird choice.
So 2 of my friends, like 2 of the other guys that went up with us were like, well, nah, we're going to go back to grade 3. Most of our friends are in that grade.
Mm-hmm.
So if we want to, like, you know, hang out with them and stuff. And at 3-4, like, at this point, because you know how elementary schools have a playground on both sides of the school, and all the younger kids go on one side and all the older kids go to the other. Grade 4 was that transition where you go to the older side, and grade 3 meant you were stuck on the other side, like the younger side. So 2 of us, myself being one of the people that ended up skipping a grade, we stayed ahead. And my only reasoning for it was, the stuff I'm learning right now is still easy, and I don't want to, like, a year off of school. That's so nice. I get out a year before everybody else. Fuck yeah. And so I go up like that way, and the other girl that came up with me was like, oh, I have a bunch of friends in this grade 4 class, and I get to progress faster, and I think this stuff is easy. And so I had the opposite thing where I was sitting there and I was watching kids struggle with grade 4 stuff.
Speed running elementary school.
Oh yeah, but yeah, it's very unusual. Split classes are like weird.
I love how that's the payoff of the story.
Moral of the story.
Well, like we had to go back for like the grade 3 like music stuff and the French stuff.
Oh, nice.
Ah, yes, the what is it? The clarinet or that flute they make you play?
The flute, the recorder.
The recorder.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
recorder.
Fuck, the recorder years. Those are great. Doing the
I
little
never got to
note
play a
pageant.
recorder.
You never got it. Oh.
So since I
really?
was in a 5-6 split class, we didn't have a music class in 5th grade. So I didn't end up doing the recorder. So once like the middle school music teacher came to our school to like assign people instruments, I had like no idea like how to play an instrument. And he just kind of handed me like the handle for a saxophone, and he's like, blow on this. And I'm like, ooh. And he's like, yeah, you can play the saxophone.
Oh, I
It's
remember
like-
that. It was like
yeah.
It was like a fair to see which like instrument you're okay with.
Exactly.
And they gave you like a
They
grade.
would have you like. It was like
Really?
it's like Harry Potter's wand fucking shop
Yeah!
where you walk around and they're like blow into this. No, you're more of a
And
trumpet
they
player.
they
No
gave you
way.
3 seconds.
Yeah.
They're
No
like
way.
they're like blow into this. If you can't make noise within the first 5 seconds, you're done. Like
Yeah.
all your hope is lost.
I'm like, man, I really want to play the trumpet. I'd love to play the trumpet, and the teacher just looks at me and she's like, "You're definitely a trombone player." And I was like, okay,
I actually hate every single one of you.
why?
I didn't get that opportunity.
Oh.
I got the opportunity of the school I went to had enough of each type of instrument, and so it was like not like a lottery, but like a lottery to decide who got what instrument.
Oh, so wait, they were just like shared instruments?
Yeah.
Oh, that's weird.
Whoa,
That's
ew.
really weird.
Yeah, well, no, well, you like clean the mouthpieces and stuff and whatever, like whenever you used it, and like when you had a saxophone, you used your own reed, like you didn't use someone else's.
Jimmy, come on, tuna for lunch again?
Open the spit
Yeah, like-
drain and it just pours out.
Oh god.
Oh,
But the worst of it was, again, everyone in our class like followed these like 2 or 3 people. So like if they were like, oh man, we all want to be like saxophone players. Everyone put saxophone as their top instrument, except for like 3 people that are like, oh man, I want to play the drums, or oh, the tuba. Fuck yeah.
Oh, I wish we got to play the drums. No one got to play the drums in my fucking
oh man.
band.
I got stuck on the. I wanted to do saxophone, and I got stuck on the trumpet because they're like, "Oh, all the saxophones are taken. You get trumpet." And I mean, I
we
like
had to
trumpet.
buy your. I think you had to buy your own stuff.
Yeah, we had to buy ours from.
the alto
Well,
saxophone.
we eventually, like when I moved here to Saskatoon, that's when, and I don't know if I dox myself in the podcast.
What am I saying? Saskatoon?
We've said Saskatoon several times.
Okay,
Why?
I'm just making sure. I get
Okay.
worried.
Yeah, fair enough.
Adam has said
what-
Pembroke before, and that's like a town of 3,200 people.
He's being careful.
Well, anyways,
he's being
when I
cautious.
moved here, I actually had to buy my own trumpet to continue with band and stuff and music. And I thought, I was into the trumpet at the time, so yeah, why not? But I wish I would have had the opportunity to actually like pick an instrument and play it.
I have a really good band story. I was the worst fucking like in class all the time. I was an absolute dickhead.
I see nothing has changed.
I know, right? So yeah, we started band in grade 6, and then it was like I didn't enjoy playing the trombone because I would just get bored. The most I would do is before class when everyone's dicking around with their instruments, and I would play the fucking Star Wars theme with my buddy. But then throughout the class, I just wouldn't play anything, and I'd just fake it the whole time. And I remember one day my teacher can clearly tell that I'm dicking around and not working and not actually practicing. And she goes, Jack, play this part. And I wasn't paying attention. So I just looked at her and I said, no. And she's like, pardon me? I'm like, no, I'm not playing that. Because I didn't know where we were on the page anyway, so I didn't want to look like an idiot. And she's like, do you want to go down to the principal's office? I was like, no. She's like, well then play it. No. And I just kept saying no. And finally she dragged me down to our vice principal's office to get me to say, she's like, tell him why you won't play. I was like, I don't know. I don't like it. I don't care. And I only found out a couple years later because my buddy told me. He's like, oh, you didn't know? Yeah, she accidentally left her microphone on so everyone in the class could hear the conversation in the principal's office. Everyone could just hear me saying no over and over again.
That's great.
And then finally in the end I was like, fine, I'll go play it, whatever. And she's like, I come back to the class and she's like, Jack, are you gonna play it? I was like, no. And she's like, oh fuck. And she just goes on to the next person. But it was great because like at the end of the year, she's like, so if anyone wants to drop out, you gotta tell us now. But I'm telling you guys, you're gonna regret it. You don't want to drop out. I was immediately like, yeah, I'm done. I'm not playing an instrument anymore. And she's like, that you're gonna have all these boring classes now because you're not in band class. My first fucking assignment after band class was starting an air band with my friends. That was the first assignment. And I was like, yeah, fuck band. This is bullshit. We can rock out and shit. It was great. It was fantastic. But I fucking hated band.
Oh my god. Oh, man. I just remember with announcements in high school, they were like super ineffective when they were done over the PA system. Everyone would kind of like stop listening after the first 2 announcements, and everything else would just go in one ear and out the other.
Because none of them were important if they weren't in the first 2.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's where my Comtech teacher and I in 11th grade had the great idea to start a school news show.
Dude, that was the shit.
That's great. I love that.
So it ended up being like my assignment for that class where I was just working on this thing. And I remember I had like, I think it was like 4 or 5 hosts that were working with me. And the whole time it was supposed to be like a collaborative effort between me and the one other guy who's the hubcap hooligan, actually. He was supposed to be helping me write the scripts and all that stuff as part of his mark for the class. But I mean, instead he was busy. Instead he was busy forging evidence. But that's that's a different podcast episode.
Sir, the recording machine's gone.
Does this email look like my dad's?
What a great.
So
guy.
I would go out with our camera and I would film segments and that stuff to break up the announcements and all that. And we had like general announcements. We had like a sports report where it like
Yo, we had the
debriefed on
desk.
sports and that stuff. We had a desk. So what we did,
Oh my god.
what we did is we just took like a normal school desk and we covered it in a green screen, and then in post-production my comm-tech teacher would put them in front of like an actual news desk,
Oh, beautiful.
like with like graphics in the background and all that stuff. It was really quite something. But I mean, there were a few episodes where students edited them, so like people would just kind of be floating and all that stuff just randomly.
How did you guys show them? Did you guys?
Oh, we had a
YouTube
YouTube
channel,
channel.
yeah.
So what would happen is like
Oh.
we'd like prepare it all throughout the week, and then we'd film it on a Monday, and it would come out on the Tuesday, and everyone would watch it. So we did that for a year, and then we renewed again for the next year, and we kept doing it, but we'd have bigger crew. And then so like people were enjoying it and actually watching it and getting something out of it. But someone also decided to start memeing us.
Oh, no.
This is gonna be good.
So to give you an idea, this is 2015, so this is like the high time of the montage.
Oh,
Oh, okay. So it's high school. Okay, all right.
Yeah. So at this time we had a high school show, and then we had a grade 7 and 8 show where they had their own separate announcements that they would talk about. So this kid in 10th grade would take our show, the high school show, and he'd overlay just like edits of montage parodies. So it'd be like kill streaks and all that stuff. Someone would like read an announcement, and then you just hear
God.
like the
He would
horns.
MOG it. He would MOG it.
Art club is meeting at 2:00 today.
It's like the headshot
Triple.
fucking headshot fucking crosshairs clipping, like click 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 click.
The intervention scoping in and out.
Wow.
Damn, son.
It's the parrot going. The rainbow parrot. Oh man.
Oh my god. Yeah, there was like they do the rainbow like overlay and all that stuff where it'd just be like, oh my god.
I love that so much.
So the first few were like really funny, and we kind of really enjoyed them and then just ignored them. But then he started memeing the intermediate students, and he put like over them.
Oh my god.
And that's when we were like, wait, whoa.
Did you guys know who it was, or like?
So I'm gonna get to that.
Oh, okay.
Oh no.
It's the hubcap hooligan, isn't it?
It was
Oh my
the
god.
hubcap.
No.
Okay.
For once, it wasn't him. For once, it was not him.
That might sound like too much work for what he's capable of.
Yeah, that's true.
So he started doing this, but to the intermediate students, and immediately, like, the principal's office was getting complaint after complaint from like angry parents because they're watching their kids' news show because they think they're watching the news show because it always started off normally,
oh my god.
and then it would just go into the parody.
I hope you like
good. That's
paid for the
actually
Google ad to
amazing.
be at like the top of the search list.
Yeah. Promotes the
Yeah.
video. That's great.
Oh my god. So we get a message from our comm-tech teacher who was like helping us run it, and I get an email and it says, the principal wants to meet with you on this day, and it just happened to be like a day before I had a big exam. So I'm like, okay, that's kind of weird. And he calls us in and he says, listen, we know about these videos. And I'm like, oh, the like parody videos. He's like, yeah, and they need to stop. It's like, I'm not making them.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, yeah, no, that's not me. I don't have the time to work on that. And like I showed him proof that it wasn't me, and he's like,
He assumed you were making them? Why?
yes, yes. He assumed I was making fun of myself.
Oh my god.
So eventually it came down to, it's like, well, we can't be releasing the new show publicly. If people can get a hold of it, it'd have to be unlisted and all that stuff, or it'd have to be, a file directly sent. And he is like coming up with all this stuff because he didn't really get how the internet worked. And he said, I'm not a tech savvy guy, but I know you're a tech savvy guy, so we'll have to leave it to you to figure it out. And I'm just like, he calls me in for like this 2-hour meeting the day before I have an exam just to tell me that like this is an issue. It's like, why? So I remember being all mad.
Cameron, I'm going to need you to backtrace their IP, okay? And if you can't, we're going to have to get the cyber police called in, okay? It's
Cam,
unfortunate, but this
Are
is
you
what we're
able to do basic Python scripting to figure out who this is?
I read about something called
You
doxing.
got 5 hours to figure it out. That exam tomorrow, guess what it's going to be on? Python. Fuck you.
I've only finished Hello World, but as soon as I'm, past that, I'll be able to find this guy.
So like Adam and I were working on all this, and like Adam was there in the office with me, so we're both equally as like upset about this. And the next day I had a philosophy exam, and I had to write my teacher a note saying, listen, I wasn't able to study yesterday for this exam because of this. And my philosophy teacher, I hand him the note, and he kind of looks at me. He reads the note, and he looks at me. He's like, wait, did this actually happen? I'm like, yeah. He's like, that's some bullshit. I'm like, yeah, I know. So a couple days later, it's like Adam and I had been talking with the dude who was doing the parodies, and he eventually got to the point with Adam where he gave him a basic description of himself. And Adam gave it to me, and I immediately grabbed my yearbook from the year prior. I open it up, and I go to his grade, and within 2 seconds, I see a kid matching his description. And I point, like, I'm like, that's him.
Yeah.
And I said it to Adam, like, I think it's this guy. I'm going to message him. So I messaged the dude because he made a Twitter account for the videos as well.
God.
He was putting it up. So I private messaged him on there with a picture from the yearbook and his name. And I said, hey, you're so-and-so. And he's like, no.
Why would he
I'm
give
like,
a description
yeah,
of
you
himself? What a fucking idiot. What a goddamn idiot.
At this point, the principal had even, like, threatened, like,
Yeah.
expelling him if they
Yeah.
found him. So I said, listen, we can make a deal here.
Oh my god. You're gonna help me study for my final.
Hey, I had to do a fucking philosophy exam the next day, and your shit made me miss 2 hours and made me have to fucking do computer programming when I could have looked in a yearbook. You and I need to talk.
So I told him, I said, listen, you can take down the videos.
You can turn yourself in.
We never speak about this again, and I don't hand you over to the principal. Or you can keep the videos up, but you can deal with the principal. So the videos went down rather quickly.
Yeah, of course.
And he ended up knowing my sister after the fact. And
Nice.
So she found out later on that it was him. She's like, wait, there was that guy? I'm like, yeah. She's like, oh, shit.
That would have been great. That would have been great if she brought him home one day and was like, "Hey
Oh,
guys,
God.
meet my new boyfriend."
Oh, just like the eye-to-eye contact, like looking at each other and be like,
That would be
Yeah.
the funniest part about that would be because originally, like, he was messaging Adam and I like, oh my god, I look up to you guys so much. I love what you guys are doing. So we're like, oh yeah, that's awesome. That's why we were okay with the parody videos at the first
Right.
point, because it was just someone who like
was just
enjoyed
having
the
fun.
show and was
Yeah.
just trying to have fun with it. But then he
That's
took
fair.
it too far. So after the fact, the principal organized a meeting with all of our crew and like our teacher, because at the point when he did the meeting with Adam and I, he didn't invite the Comtech teacher. The Comtech teacher wasn't even made aware when the meeting was going to happen. It was
What the
pretty,
fuck?
yeah, which was pretty scummy.
Yeah.
So we organized this meeting with the principal. He says, yeah, I'll be there. You know, it's on a lunch. You know, he says, we'll be there. And then we all meet up. There's like 14 of us, and we have like a whole PowerPoint presentation ready to show why, you know, we shouldn't just privatize the show and how it wouldn't be as effective because the parents wouldn't be
needs
able to
to
see.
remain publicly funded, sir. I'm telling you right
no,
now.
like, it sounded appropriate. Like that
Yeah.
sounds like a thing that would be very
Yeah.
useful for the school to be.
Yeah.
Oh, exactly, because parents would watch it too. So that was kind of like why we wanted to keep it public. So the day comes where we're having our meeting. We're all sitting there and ready. And then the door opens and the vice principal walks through the door, not the principal. So I'm already like, are you fucking kidding me? He comes in, we do our presentation about why, you know, it's not a good idea to make it private. And then the vice principal's like, yeah, you guys made a good point. You know, I'll talk to the principal about it. 2 weeks later, the principal was like, yeah, we can't have the new show anymore.
What the
And
fuck?
we went back to normal announcements, and
Oh.
everyone was upset with it. But then in the year after, so this was the year I graduated, the year after, they started doing them again. But almost every teacher protested the show because of what happened the year before and because I wasn't working on it.
Oh, that's great.
I was just waiting for, like, during the sports segment, they go like, Nick is 2 weeks into his coma. He's slipping into critical condition. Let's keep our spirits high. Let's go, team. And then cuts
Having a
back
pep
to like
rally
normal
later
news.
today.
Oh, that's awesome. Now I have a question for you. Are these videos still up on YouTube?
Maybe. They might still. They
Can
might
you
still
can
be...
you can you
They're
send us a
probably
couple of
floating
these?
around.
Oh, I would love to watch one of these.
You know, I'll see if I can dig them up for you guys.
Yeah.
Maybe while
Go
you're telling
find the
a
USB
story
stick.
after this. You know.
Oh, I would love to watch one of these. Like high school cringe is like mint. Like I have videos on my computer of like myself from high school, and I just Like I
Well,
watch it just for that slight bit of cringe. Just it's something nice about a
dose of
delicacy like
cringe.
that.
Well, I took that film course in like grade 11, right? And it was my films were all just the worst shit. It was like, I mean, like everyone loved them, but when you actually watch them, you're like, what the fuck have you done? There was one called we made a film called Action Film, where a guy's daughter is kidnapped. He spends about like 2 minutes suiting up with a bunch of guns. He kicks the front door open and is immediately shot in the head, and that's the end of the film. Like that's the entire thing. What was the other one? Oh, we had one called oh my god, there it is, Cam.
Oh no. The floodgates have been opened.
Did he find it? Is it in the podcast chat?
It may or may not be in the podcast chat.
It is. Oh, this is so beautiful.
Oh, I'm gonna have to give that a watch later. That's great.
Oh my god.
Anyway, Jack, your story?
So I made another film where I was like, what was it called? It was called All Is Well, and it wasn't my writing. I just showed up and did the camera work for it and the editing. But it was 3 people in an office standing around a water cooler having a conversation about nothing in general. It was like all of the conversations were like, oh yes, that is adequate. Oh, I do enjoy that. Goodness me, that is good.
Yeah,
Shit
fine.
like that the entire way through. And I showed it to our teacher, and he was like, "What the fuck is this?" I was like, "I don't know. They made me edit it. I didn't write this." Okay.
Did you take your name out of the credits?
No, I
DJ Axion.
yeah. Well, that was my other one. Yeah, DJ Axion.
That was the bathroom DJ, right?
That was, yeah. I was getting to the end of my I was getting to the end of the year, and my teacher was like, "Jack, you still haven't produced a film yourself." And I was like, "Oh, am I supposed to?" He was like, "Yeah, we've literally discussed this multiple times. You're supposed to produce a film." I was like, "Okay." So I'm sitting there with my friend, and I was like, "Hey, remember when we were at the Science Center in Regina the other week?" And he was like, "Yeah." I was like, "Well, I went to the bathroom, and there was like the radio playing in the bathroom, but you couldn't hear it anywhere else in the building." And I was like, "What if we made a film about like a guy who only DJs in a high school bathroom? That's the only place his music is played." And he was like, "That's a fucking stupid idea." I was like, "Yeah, but you're gonna help me make it now because I helped you make all these other films." And so we made it, and I think I won it went on first, and I think I won like 3rd place in the fan picks. I was so proud of it. I was like, this piece of trash somehow won an award. What the fuck?
Amazing. Oh my god. I feel like I won an award for that news show or something. Oh no. I remember what. Okay, I have another story.
Oh god, here we go.
So
I'm ready for this roller coaster.
I feel like it would have been 11th grade. So in 11th grade, I was on student council as the head of videography.
Nice.
I had made up a position on student council, and they were just like, "Yeah, sure."
Why all of your school stories have you like making up a position on the student council or making up a trophy for fucking hockey like, games?
I found that trophy. I found the picture of that trophy. But
oh my God.
This also revolves around trophies because the crux of this story is Oscars night. So it was the winter dance for grade 11, and we were having an Oscars night with an Oscars awards ceremony beforehand. Earlier on, I was like, well, I want to do some big video for this. Like, what can I do? I was like, And I was like, oh, I have an idea. Let's do a video with the mayor.
Oh, yes.
Oh gosh.
Yes, I remember you showing me this.
Jim.
So I emailed the mayor. No, actually, I DM'd the mayor of Ottawa on Twitter.
Slid in.
And I said, hey, do you have an email I can contact you at? And I have an idea for this video for one of our school ceremonies and that stuff that I'd like you to be a part of. And he gets back to me and he says, yeah, sure, here's the email for my assistant. You can coordinate it with him. And I'm like, oh, perfect. So I email his assistant.
Oh no.
And we get it set that during the break between first and second semester, where there's like a break after exams, me and a couple friends will go in to City Hall and record a video in the mayor's office that will play at the beginning of the Oscars night.
Oh,
So
goodness.
we go in there and we record a video with the mayor of him just, it's a couple prominent people from the school waiting around in the mayor's office. The mayor walks in, he's like, oh, where's so-and-so? And then they're like, oh, he's, late and all that stuff. And then that guy runs in. It was the hubcap hooligan. And he's like, oh, sorry I'm late. Should we go introduce the ceremony now? So they go and they leave the mayor's office, and they're in the hall outside the mayor's office. So I'm walking back with the camera, and they're introducing Oscars night. I make this video, and then we play it in front of Oscars night. I was nominated for 2 awards that night, and the first award they presented, I won.
Nice.
So my credit immediately rolls through, and then I get presented an award.
Rigged. Fucking rigged.
Unreal.
I don't even remember what the award was. I just remember I got it, and I think I have like one of those little plastic trophies lying around somewhere from it still to this day.
Award for Cameron, propaganda strategist.
What a time that was.
I remember my teachers trying to get me to do a talent show at one point in elementary school.
I think I cut out. Internet, please.
No. Wait,
No,
can you
you're
hear
still
me?
here. Hello? No, Cam?
Oh, no.
Cam, can you not hear
I
me?
can't hear any. Oh, there we go. Now
Can
I can
you-
hear you guys.
Oh,
We're
yeah,
good?
we could hear you the whole time.
Yeah.
Oh, perfect.
Okay.
Okay, so I
What is
guess
going on?
I guess the
Is Cam dead?
it's Discord. Perfect. Okay.
Oh, my God.
I don't know
There
what
we
happened
go.
with the server, but it went down. I was like, oh. Okay.
Very weird.
Okay, anyway. Yeah, where were you? Restart the story.
The story was legitimately a teacher tried to make me do a talent show in elementary school, and I don't have a talent, so I was like, no, I'm not doing a talent show. And she's like, no, you're gonna do the talent show. And so she made me fucking sit through like multiple days of me like trying to figure out what I could do for this talent show. And in the end, I was just like, can I just play the music? Can I just be the guy who like plays the music for everyone? Can that be my thing? I'll do the tech side. And she's like, yeah, you're good with tech. That can be your thing. So
Oh wow.
2 or 3 nights in a row, I just sat in the corner next to this giant old fucking CD player in this, it's like a cupboard. You open the cupboard and there's a full fucking like doorway sized machine just to play CDs. It's ridiculous. And I'm like hitting play, and then I'm hitting stop, and then I'm going to the next track, and I'm hitting play, and I'm hitting stop. That's all I did. It wasn't anything special at all. And then at the very end of the night, she goes, and by the way, everyone, I just want to bring Jack up here. He's done a great job tonight with the tech side. And I'm like, I've done nothing. I hit play and stop. What do you mean? But I got a credit for
You put
it,
like
so
an
fuck it.
you put like an applause track on.
I should have. If I'd thought that far ahead, I should have. Oh my god.
Put like a laugh track in the middle of the talent show.
The kid I don't like stands
he
up. And
he
I'm just,
fucks up and you just put a laugh track on.
yeah.
God,
would be
talent
great.
show. That reminds me of, so back in elementary school when we'd have talent shows,
Yeah.
I would always sit with like my one friend and we'd watch them, but we'd pretend it was like America's Got Talent, so we'd like hard critique these kids going up and showing their talent.
Yeah,
I just
Becky,
don't know what
I think you really need to work on your vocal range. You're getting those high notes really well, but your low notes need a bit of work. You got the looks too, the grit is there, but I don't know who picked that outfit out for you. Like,
Sure, you did well
have you
today.
been
but
going to the Gap? Has your mom been taking you to the Gap? I think you
Go
need
to
to
the
change it up.
Sure, you did well today, but my question is, what are you gonna do next time? Have you cut yourself a bit short now? Like, what do we expect?
Maybe
next
you have a
time
different
around?
talent.
Oh,
Put a little more heart into it.
maybe singing isn't your thing. if let me tell you about talent shows in elementary school, if they weren't all singing,
Oh, I know, right? That's the only problem. I mean, there was one in high school where my buddy got up and he played he played dubstep because he made dubstep music. He made his own dubstep music, and so he got up and he was like, he's like got this table and he's not even mixing. He's just kind of like playing a song and then going to the next song kind of thing that he's made and everything. And I remember sitting in the booth that night, like, adjusting audio levels and everything, and this old man gets up out of his chair in the theater, walks around to the audio booth, pokes his head in and goes, "It's far too loud out there," and just closes the door and leaves. And I'm like, yeah, it's dubstep. What do you mean? It's
Wob, 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 wob.
yeah.
I like this new generation of music.
What do you kids listen to nowadays?
It's all toilet sounds.
I like
That
the
is
wubz,
that
and
is
I like
terrible
the dub.
music.
You call that music?
I just want a picture of a goddamn hot dog.
Bangs propane tank profusely to make music.
Oh my.
It's the new version of Stomp. It's just propane tanks. Boom, boom, boom.
I wonder if you could make different sounds depending on how much propane was in a propane tank.
Probably.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely.
Different
We should have
levels
asked
of
the
fun.
people that blew themselves up with it last
Can
time.
we not do this? Can we get someone else to do this where they like stand like
Yeah.
Were they huff
easily
propane?
20 feet away and they're like hitting buttons and it's like a machine that just smacks the propane
a
tank?
machine-driven
Like,
propane
it's like
tank
no, it's like a drummer,
musician.
right? It's got a bunch of different like propane tanks and it's just like
Uh-huh.
plays it like it's like one of those like xylophones of just propane tanks. It's a xylophone of different sounding propane tanks, and then
Oh,
one of
that's
them will
genius.
finally blow up, and then the rest of them blow up, and like the guy's like easily far enough away that he doesn't get injured by it.
Well, I'm glad that you added
God.
that part at the end there. Yeah.
Yeah, I was trying to think
I was
about it.
getting
I was
worried.
trying to like I'm sitting there. I'm like, okay, this guy's holding drumsticks and he's hitting propane tanks. No, he's dead. He's now 20 feet away and he's like he's got like these giant long poles and he's trying to hit it really slowly. Nah, they're shrapnel. He's dead.
Giant long
He's behind.
poles.
He's behind a shielded wall that he can still see
Like
through. So some sort
the
of like
Mythbusters
bulletproof
kinda
glass
thing.
Yeah, and he's sitting there and he's pressing buttons on a keyboard, and on the keyboard it leads to like different robotic arms that are just like drumsticks that are just hitting these propane tanks.
You can have a bit of a cymbal sound. You just open up the cap a little bit. It's genius.
There's like the two like acetylene canisters of just oxygen.
Yeah, exactly. Perfect.
That's
Oh my
that's
God.
some natural sound right there.
That's a clean burning sound, I tell you what.
Oh fuck.
Oh my god.
I think that's I think that wraps it up right there.
Yeah, I think that's a good spot to leave it. All right, Mac, why don't you give yourself a shout? You're the guest here.
All right. Thanks, guys, for having me on. Usually I just go by Snakelore CS on Twitter. I stream once in a while. Well, very occasionally, but yeah, nothing really else to shout out. Just Twitter and Twitch. That's it.
I need to follow you on Twitch.
I need to follow you on Twitch.
Ooh.
I can just follow you in general. Oh shit! Wait, was that? Maybe that might have been too doxing
too
right
forward,
there.
too forward.
doxing.
Dox me. Don't dox me, dude. Don't tell them that my Twitch is twitch.tv/McWiggin. What the
Oh no,
fuck?
wait, Jack, what's your Twitter too? Don't let them
my
dox
Twitter.
you there
Oh,
as
don't
well.
tell them that my Twitter is McWiggin TV.
Whatever you
Oh
don't
my God.
do,
Oh my
don't
God,
shout out the
you said it on the
Patreon.
podcast.
Please.
I don't want them to know that I'm watching Chef every night. Please don't send them to my Twitter.
Well, if they know about your Twitter, they're obviously going to know about Jacob's Twitch and Twitter.
Oh, my God.
Not
Please,
Jacob's
please.
Twitch and Twitter.
They're not supposed to know about like, twitch.tv/rockliquor, where the I is a 1. And they're not supposed to know about my Twitter, which is just rliquor, where the I is a 1. And they're not supposed to know about my Instagram, which is rock.liquor, where the I is a 1.
And God forbid they
God,
put it in the
that is a
Oh
description.
shit, did I just dox myself?
And
Oh,
oh my
fuck.
god, if they know about all those, they're gonna know about all my channels where it's all Unlike Metal, UNLIKEMETAL on Twitter and on Twitch. They're gonna know about all that
Wait,
too.
did you forget the 13? Oh shit, the 13!
No, there's no 13 in it. That's only on Xbox.
Add my gamer tag.
Oh,
Can we
man,
get,
thank
can we
you.
get
If
Jacob
you got a
shirt
shitty
design that's-
Xbox mic, don't even think about it.
What about the 13?
Can we get Jacob a shirt that design that just says Rock Liquor? The I is a 1. That's all it says.
man.
There's always
we'll
a one in my eye.
Get him that after the podcast.
Oh, God.
Thank you very much for listening, everyone. We'll catch you in the next episode.
Yeah.
I'm waving.
Bye.
Bye.
See you guys on the Niche Cast.
Oh God. You hear that, Cam? You hear that? That's my cherry Danish. You can put this after. Hey everyone, I'm about to eat a cherry Danish, and it's really, hang on, here you go.